You know, we all think of Apple as the absolute pinnacle of tech perfection, right? They're the company that just gets things right. But here's the thing. In the single biggest tech race of our time, they have been surprisingly, shockingly behind. This is the story of Apple's huge AI dilemma.
And that right there is the central mystery we're going to unpack. I mean, this isn't just some startup. This is a trillion-dollar titan with the smartest engineers on the planet. So how on earth did they fumble the biggest technological revolution since the smartphone?
And if you want to put a price tag on this problem, well, here it is. $1 billion a year. That's reportedly what Apple is spending, not on their own breakthrough innovation, but to get help from its biggest rival, Google, just to make Siri better.
So to figure this all out, we've got to look inside Apple itself. You see, the problem didn't start in a research lab. It started in the conference rooms. The very first clue? A story of a company completely divided against itself.
Look, this was not a failure of engineering. Apple absolutely had the talent. The real problem was total organizational chaos. Sources inside the company point to bitter infighting, with teams so fragmented and broken apart that they were basically at war with each other. And that chaos, it had a huge real-world cost. Instead of one big push forward, you had all these competing AI projects, pulling in totally different directions. And that, of course, stalled out key projects, it made it impossible to form a single clear vision, and it just wasted the incredible efforts of their world-class talent.
But you know, the infighting, that was only part of the story. The much deeper issue was this fundamental clash between Apple's entire identity, its corporate DNA, and the messy, chaotic nature of modern AI.
Just think for a second, what makes an Apple product feel like an Apple product? It's this core belief. For decades, their superpower has been strict, total control. Every single element is obsessively designed for a perfect, predictable experience. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is left to chance.
And right there, that is the fundamental clash. Apple wanted AI to fit neatly into its world, predictable, perfect, almost pre-written. But generative AI is the complete opposite. Its magic, its power, is that it's unpredictable and messy and creative. It refuses to live in a perfectly controlled little box.
Yeah, a quote from one of the sources just nails it. It was a head-on collision. Apple's deep need for absolute control was just fundamentally incompatible with the chaotic, messy reality of the very technology they were trying to build.
So what do you do when the tech itself can't live up to that perfect brand promise? Well, you control the perception of the tech. And that brings us to their very public, very flashy product demos at WWDC.
And that really sums up their entire strategy. If the AI itself is just too unpredictable for a live open Q&A on stage, then you simply don't have a live open Q&A. Instead, you create the perfect illusion of one. You stage a performance.
So how'd they do it? Well, according to sources, their AI demos were heavily staged. It was a simple playbook. Step 1, you pre-write everything. Every single prompt, every single response. Step 2, you build strict guardrails to limit what questions can even be asked. And step 3, you rehearse it over and over until it looks absolutely flawless. A perfect illusion.
Okay, so we've connected the dots, right? We've got the internal fighting, this culture clash, the stage demos, and all of it leads to one inevitable and honestly pretty humiliating outcome.
And you can just trace this path to failure so clearly. The infighting, that directly led to stalled development. The culture of control, it made them completely unable to adapt to these new large language models. And the staged demos, well, that was just a public signal to the world that they were falling behind. Each failure just made the next one worse.
And here's the bottom line. The company that takes so much pride in doing everything in-house, creating that seamless experience, they had to go running to their #1 competitor for help. It was a forced, very public admission that, on their own, they had failed.
And just think about the money for a second, because the reality here is stark. That billion-dollar payment flows directly from Apple's bank account straight into Google's, actively making their biggest rival stronger in the exact same field where Apple completely stumbled.
So all of this leaves us with one big, nagging question. And this isn't just about a single fumbled product. It's really about a fundamental identity crisis for the company. Can a company whose entire soul is built on creating perfect walled gardens ever truly master the wild, wonderful, and unpredictable chaos of AI? That is the billion-dollar question Apple is still desperately trying to answer.